Okay, y'all. It's Saturday morning. Well, it's lunchtime Saturday. I've been getting things ready for next week. We had rain, a pretty good bit of rain. It looks like winds blowing real bad. And I think we're going to have rain for the next few days. So yeah. And then it's probably going to start. The heat's really going to start kicking in then. At least that's, usually what happens. This will probably be the last rain before we really get to some hardcore mowing and heat. A lot of heat coming now. Usually that's how it goes. You get into the middle of May, it's really, the grind really starts to affect you. A couple guys come in the comments and was saying, about the video I did, one of the videos I did yesterday about the other lawn company, and they were saying in the comment that that I'm talking crap about them, and I'm going around through the backyard and back into the front yard and cutting the grass like that. I mean, yeah, I am talking shit about them. So what? The thing is, they got 3 guys over there, and it's not my business. I'm just pointing out the channel's about, the things I see and the things I experience out here. And you can take it for whatever you want to take it for. It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't put money in my pocket or not. But I do a YouTube channel, and I'm showing, what I saw, and you saw what I saw. And as far as the mechanics behind cutting that lawn up there, I cut a lot of lawns like that, man. Who says that you have to do the front yard and then the backyard? Who says that? Who says? I mean, I don't understand that. Some properties you do, but is there some kind of written way to cut grass that that you can't go around the house? Well, a couple of things. Number one, you're super efficient that way. Number two, you're not going to miss anything, nothing. Could you imagine me up in that little bitty backyard with my 60-inch mower trying to turn like I see a lot of guys do on yards with a big riding mower? Well, Ray, pull a push mower out. I'm not pushing that yard. I don't pay enough for that. She's been paying me to cut it like that for, I don't know, probably 15 years. So there's that too. I was pointing out the obvious on the other lawn care company that was out there, and I was showing that's why they have to work till 7 or 8 o'clock at night to make any money. I'm just pointing that out. They got 3 guys on a property that I used to do. I used to do that property. It's changed owners a few times, but that's a $70 yard tops. I cut it one time for those owners last year, but they were crying about $70. So I'm just pointing that out. And that's why I don't cut it no more, because I wouldn't do it for cheaper. They wanted to pay $55, and I said no. So I know what it takes to do that yard. And it don't take 3 guys, and, I mean, the video speaks for itself, man. I don't really have to explain everything, about that. And I'm glad that you're a local guy and all that. All that's irrelevant to me. I'm just pointing out what I saw over there, and we're talking about efficiency. And I'm all about efficiency, in case you didn't know. I did 2 properties, and they're still on that one. So I did 2 70s, and they're still on that one. And there's 3 of them. That's all I was saying. And then, well, people said, well, damn, man, where'd you get all that from? That's why I showed you. That's why I even put little circles on there for you to see it. 3 guys on that property, and they're out there weed eating the scragglers. I've never, even in my very beginning, I would never have done that. I wouldn't have. I would have, you know, and a lot can be said for three guys. They may have had a bunch of other jobs that they did earlier in the day. So you can't really point with three guys. And, you know, I don't think that three guys in one truck is the best way to do it, is the best way to mow lawns, you know, regular lawns like that. You know, I don't know why they need two, you know, why they got two guys weed eating and one guy mowing. Now, if it was a small mowing property, then it'd be different. But it's pretty big, a lot of mowing there. See, a lot of guys, they always want to see the negative, but they're not seeing what I'm actually saying. What I'm saying, well, I was saying over there was when they pull, if I was the head of that crew, and I've done that property, so I kind of know a little bit. If I had two guys in the truck with me, and I was the head of that crew, then the first thing I would have said when we pulled up, I'd have said, "Okay, Joe, I need you to get on that stand on, and I want you to cut this piece right here, and then I'm going to want you to blow off." I would turn around to the guy in the back seat and I'll say, "Hey man, go on and edge and weed eat real quick," you know. And when he gets done mowing that piece, then we'll see where you are on the weed eating. And if you need a little help wrapping up the weed eating, okay. But you probably won't. And that's what I would tell the guy that's going to be weed eating. And then the guy that cuts that piece, I'd say, "Okay, cut that, and then grab a blower and start blowing." And then me being on the bigger mower, I'm going to make sure that I got the edge of the road, the edge of the driveway, and all that done. So when that guy gets done mowing that piece, he's got something to do with a blower. See, that's what I was saying. And I know for guys that don't know about efficiency and how to make top dollar out here, that's foreign to them. I understand. And if you're solo and never had guys working for you, I get that too. But when you got two guys in the truck, well, you got to be super efficient to make money at it. Now, I'm not a big believer in working 15 hours a day to make the same money that I would make if I worked 6 hours or 7 hours a day. I just don't like that. I'm not a big believer in that, put it that way. So you can come at me saying I'm talking crap and all that, but I'm a seasoned vet out here and I've been doing it a long time. And I know what yards I can do that on. We'll call it the donut. And anybody that's been watching the channel for a while, they know I do quite a few properties like that. And keep in mind, my properties are just trashy yards. They're not fescue grass where I got, 800 feet to go that way and then turn around. What bothers me a lot too, when I see guys on these small properties, that backyard over there, it ain't worthy of me cranking up a mower and putting it back there. It ain't worthy of none of that. I hit it as I'm hitting the front. What's wrong with that? Why is that such an issue with you, dude? I'll tell you why. Because you don't know no different. Instead of, coming at me talking about who does that, well, try it and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. You'll understand exactly what I'm saying if you're solo. I cut it the same way whether I got a guy in the truck with me. I never have two guys in the truck with me though. That's the only way I do that is if we're doing a lot of bush trimmings and things like that. But I schedule it in a way to where I don't have to have that third guy because I'm in control of the scheduling and everything. So and I guarantee you that those three guys out there, they ain't making $20 an hour. They can't be, not if they're that inefficient. Because I know what that property's going to pay. The same owners are there from when I cut it. They didn't want to pay $70. So I didn't go into all that yesterday, but I did mention that I cut it before. And, I didn't know that I would have to explain, away three guys on a $70 property, taking them over an hour. When I did two. I did two 70s. And I don't even know if they're making 70 on that property. They didn't want to pay 70, and that's why I told them I couldn't do it for less than 70. So, and then they had to cut it twice. You know, so that emphasizes even more that they needed to have 2 mowers going off the muscle. You don't necessarily have to jump out of the truck and grab a weed eater. If you got a lot of mowing to do and you know that the mowing is going to overrun the detail, then what you do, if you got 1 guy or 2 guys, you put somebody on a mower, and if you're a G, then you know how to time it to where, okay, you cut this piece right here. By the time you get done with that, he'll be done weed eating, and then you blow off. And by the fact that you're helping me cut the yard, then I can go on and get and go on and cut the grass everywhere else. And the timing is going to be much better. You're much more efficient on a lawnmower for like the 100th time. I don't know how many times I got to say that. If you don't have to weed eat. Well, what ends up happening over there? You saw what ends up happening. The guy is on the lawnmower wrapping up, and he's got 2 guys blowing. When really they should have already been done and on to the next one at that point. But they don't know what they're doing, and that's okay. There was a time that I didn't know what I was doing, and I would have loved. When I started this stuff, if somebody would have called me out on something like that, but because I'm able to look in the mirror just a little bit and say, damn, you know, if I'd have put that guy on me. You got to be thinking a lot of times out here where a lot of guys just come out here with a lawnmower and they don't think, and they don't make as much money as somebody that does, or if they're working a lot harder for the same money. They might make the same, but they are working a lot harder. And that's all that little clip was about. And I wasn't saying anything bad about those guys. I was just pointing out the obvious, right? I mean, I showed you. So, I mean, I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong for showing you, but you know, there are options. You don't have to watch the video. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm just pointing out what I saw yesterday. And there's so many ways that you can do these yards, and for people to think, especially if you got 2 guys, for people to think that the guys in that truck, to think that there couldn't be a more efficient way, well, those are the guys that ain't never had to pay for labor. They got a 3rd guy there that's not necessary. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, any more than, you know, 1 guy in the truck on a regular route is too much. And see, since I have to pay labor, and maybe you don't, maybe you working for somebody, maybe, I don't know, but I don't have to pay labor for that. I'm not going to pay labor for that. That comes right out of, that means I got to do more work. The more people I got out here, the more work I got to do. Well, Ray, it's easier when you got more labor. To a certain degree, it is, if you're doing the right cuts. But on mom and pop, no. I did 2 while they were still doing 1. And I was in my truck talking shit about them. Well, I'd already got in my truck talking crap about them. And I'm just solo. And that yard they did was as big as one of the ones that I did. So, the proof is that's where the rubber hits the road. It's about efficiency, you know. I guess I could have, you know, cut it like you want me to cut it, and taken another, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes on that property, but I still would have beat them. You know, I mean, and it ain't about beating them or not. It's about getting better. It's about managing your time. It's about looking at a project, a yard, or whatever, and saying, okay, and being able to time things just right. And if they only had 1 mower, then that would be a big red flag to me. You got 3 guys in 1 lawnmower. That ain't gonna ever happen in my world. Never. I don't like to have more guys in the truck than I can haul lawnmowers. I'm just saying. Because that 3rd guy, it's gonna cost you a lot on yards like that. But I don't know what their schedule was before they got there. I'm just calling out on that yard that I saw right there in front of me. I'm not saying things that I heard somebody else say. I'm not saying things, you know, I'm showing. So, you can think whatever you want to think about going around and round and or back and forth and all that. You can think whatever you want to think. It doesn't matter to me. I know I'm not gonna cut no property like that. And I'm not gonna have 3 guys, 2 guys in the truck with me either. So, there's that. I don't know, man. Just, you don't have to watch the videos, man. I mean, I'm not. YouTube don't pay me enough to. I'm not even making $300 a month on YouTube, dude. So, be thankful and grateful that I'm freaking doing a video and I'm taking my own time to edit the video. Hell, with those guys, I'll be home editing the video and they'll still be over there with twice the labor that they actually need. Because I used to do that yard. I wouldn't have never said anything. Well, I probably would have. I wouldn't have never said anything if I hadn't have done that yard before. And if I didn't know what they're paying. They don't want to pay 70, put it that way. So the most they're getting is 70. 3 guys, 1 hour, $70, that ain't gonna get it. And it looks like crap. I'm looking at it, it looks terrible. Stragglers everywhere. And I know, but if you're putting 3 guys on it, it ought to be freaking immaculate. That's all. Deuces.